the mystery surrounding the sunken wreck of a World War II RAF bomber that went down off the southern coast of Italy 80 years ago has finally been solved. In 2016, the sunken wreck of a twin-engine airplane was discovered at the bottom of the ocean off the Italian coast. Now, for 6 years, historians and divers combed through records, reviewed local witness accounts to piece together what happened. What kind of airplane was it? And what happened to the crew? Just this week, the plane has been positively identified as a Martin Baltimore light attack bomber. It was flying on a reconnaissance mission from its base on Malta on June 15, 1942, when it was forced to ditch into the sea. However, nobody knows if the plane was hit by enemy fire or simply suffering from engine trouble. But if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Ken Stano and I am a World War II historian, mechanical engineer, and pilot. Now, the aircraft we're talking about came down south of Sicily, about 500 meters or quarter mile off the coast. Witness accounts said the plane floated for a few minutes before sinking, which allowed enough time for local fishermen to row out and search for the crew. Thousands of these Martin Baltimore bombers were made during World War II, most of those being scrapped at the end of the war. Now, believe it or not, this one now ranks as one of the best preserved in the world. The wreck lies at a depth of 85 meters or 280 feet. And it's in an excellent state of preservation. There's a crack halfway along the fuselage, and a small part of the left wing is missing. It is only partially submerged in the sand, and the wings and tail are still visible above the seabed. This plane was originally thought to be an entirely different aircraft, an RAF Bristol Beaufort, but it has been positively identified as a Martin Baltimore, flown by 69 Squadron of the RAF when the unit was based on Malta. The squadron's missions were mostly concentrated in the Eastern Mediterranean. Squadron records show the bomber took off on June 15, 1942, on a reconnaissance mission to observe Axis naval activity. Unfortunately, the squadron lost radio contact with the bomber and it failed to return to base. So, what happened to the crew? Well, they've been identified as RAF pilot Sergeant Francis William Baum, Sergeant William Edward Fincham, who was a wireless operator and air gunner from the Royal Canadian Air Force, Sergeant Robert Tetchell Purslow, an air gunner with the RAF, and Flight Sergeant Alec Greaves, an observer from the Royal Australian Air Force, who died on impact when the bomber hit the sea. Tragically, Sergeant Purslow, the RAF air gunner, later died in a prisoner of war camp in Austria, December 1943. If fascinating World War II mysteries like the discovery and identification of this Martin bomber interest you, then I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button below. You can also check out the recent discovery of the World War II destroyer Escort, Samuel B. Roberts. My name is Ken Stano. Thank you for checking out History X.